Hi, I'm Dr. Jen with BoDo Chiropractic in downtown Boise. If you're watching this, you may already know me, and we are going to be doing some stretches for pregnancy and first, second, third trimesters. At BoDo Chiropractic, we specialize in pregnancy, prenatal, and pediatric chiropractic. So we're going to go ahead and exhibit some very important stretches to do throughout your pregnancy. Our first one is a Psoas stretch. So we go into a low lunge. It's really helpful to have something here to balance you. And this stretch right now, we're going to be doing the left psoas muscle. The most important thing to do here is to make sure that this hip is squared forward, because the psoas starts up here in your back, and it goes through your diaphragm, down and around, and through your hip into your leg. So if you open up this hip at all, you're going to lose the stretch. So make sure that this hip is forward. Oftentimes the belly's in the way, so this leg can go out a little bit in order to accommodate for the belly. Making sure that you're going to bring up this same arm as leg that's down on the floor. You're going to reach up and out through the hip and keep reaching. A lot of people go over to the side and let go of the arm, so we want to keep reaching up and over to the side. And then we need to remember to breathe. This is step one of the stretch. You should already feel the stretch as leaning over. As you become more advanced and you do it every day, you can bend the shoulder forward and kind of bring the body in a little bit more, and then stretch back into the back corner here so that you get a little bit of a deeper stretch, but continue to breathe. Oftentimes, 9 times out of 10, it's tighter on the left side. And so you're going to be doing it on both sides, but just make sure you're doing it deeper and longer on the left. But make sure you're doing both sides. So again, on the right side here, we're going to make sure our hip is squared and bringing that leg forward. Make sure that your foot is in front of your knee. Same arm as leg that's down to the ground, reaching up and out and over to the side. Breathing, because a lot of people will start to hold their breath. So don't do that. Then bringing your shoulder forward and then going back in a diagonal. 4 or 5 times each side, holding it, and please repeat daily. This is going to help a ton with low back. The next stretch is going to be frog pose. So coming down on our hands and knees, if the belly is getting too big and is hitting the floor, you might want to bring your knees in a little bit, but it's important to try to stretch the inner groin. So if possible, bring the knees out. I always kind of wiggle the hips a little bit, make sure that they're comfortable and you get any kinks out. But it's really important to make sure that the hips are in line with the knees. So as we are on our elbows, we're going to rotate the tailbone up to the sky, and then we're going to tuck it under. And rotate and rock the pelvis 4 or 5 times in this center position. And then next we're going to go forward. We're going to bring our pelvis in front of our knees. And then again here, kind of wiggle the pelvis a little bit. And we're going to do that same movement of rocking the pelvis in that motion, but you're not going to have as much range of motion because of the angle and the biomechanics of the pelvis. So going here, tailbone up to the sky, and then tucking it under. Tailbone up to the sky, and tucking it under. Then, moving it back, you can bring the knees in a little bit as if we're in pseudo child's pose. Again, tailbone up to the sky, and rocking it under, doing that 4 or 5 times. So we begin in the middle, 4 or 5, forward 4 or 5, back 4 or 5, again on a daily basis. And many of you may know cat and cow. So I'm going to begin with a basic cat-cow, and then we're going to get into some more advanced postures here. So again, this is on a daily basis. Take a couple of seconds. Normal cat-cow is dropping your belly down and you look like a cow. Essentially with trying to touch the top of your head to your tailbone in this position, and then you're going to rock it, tucking it up,
and then you look like a cat, trying to get your head to your tailbone. So again, slowly
putting the back into a cow posture, and then rocking it into
a cat posture. All the while trying to connect your head to your tailbone.
Then stopping in the middle, and we're going to use our ribs. We're isolating our ribs in this pose, so we're going to go to the right and up, and to the left and down, big circles one way, then we reverse the other way, Doing this 4 or 5 times to each side, or until you don't want to do it anymore. And then we're going to isolate our pelvis here. We're going to go all the way to the side, down and around, and over to the side, and forward, and reverse. Making sure you're going all the way to the side here. As many times as you would like. It is a great stretch for the hips and the legs. Another great thing to do in pregnancy is foam rolling. Pregnancy or not pregnant, it's amazing. But something I liked to do was getting into the glutes and the sacrum and the low back. Right now I'm going to work on the left glute. You're going to lean over on the left side, bending that left knee onto your right, the left ankle on your right knee, and kind of supporting yourself back here. And you're going to go from your butt bone, your sit bone, all the way to the top of your hip, the iliac crest, and back to the butt bone, to the top of the iliac crest. Really relaxing that muscle and letting all the weight go on the foam roller. Doing that 4 or 5 times, or until it feels, until you feel you don't want to do it anymore. Doing it on both sides. So now we're doing the right side. We're leaning on the right glute. We have our right ankle and our left knee. We're going to go to the top of the iliac crest and down to the tail, the sit bone, and rock that forward and back. Then we're going to sit on our sacrum. Right now my tailbone is on the foam roller. We're going to go to the top of the sacrum, which is the triangle bone at the bottom of your spine, and then you go back to the tailbone and to the top of the sacrum. I'm going to do this a couple of times, which really helps with the adaptations of pregnancy. Basically our bodies our muscles are trying to hold our pelvis in as our bodies are adapting to the weight and the posture of holding a growing baby. So from here, going a little forward, I like to go into the low back and just letting your muscles relax and going into the foam roller, rolling up and down a few vertebrae at a time, all the way up. I go to the top of the spine, it feels amazing. And then kind of, after you go all the way to the top, I stop around just above the bra line or above the breast line, resting your butt down on the ground, hands behind your neck and head, and leaning back. This opens up our thoracic curvature, aka our hunchback. Also opens up the pecs, which are shortening in our society from just everything we do being forward and kind of bending forward, as well as becoming a new mom and breastfeeding and looking at your adorable baby. It also opens up our heart center and just feels amazing. So relaxing here for as long as you like. But the whole foam rolling takes a couple of minutes and allows the cerebral spinal fluid to flow. It starts to move stagnant energy, and then it increases our blood flow. So it is very invigorating and takes maybe 2 minutes. So enjoy.
Hi, this is Dr. Kyle with BoDo Chiropractic. Here are some stretches for the expecting mom that partner will perform. So you're going to want to find a hard surface, and from there you're going to grab the first leg, and we are going to stay or go straight sideways with the leg. You will notice that the opposite hip comes off the table. I always reach over and kind of pin that hip down. We get a deeper stretch. From here, it's just kind of comfort of each individual. So how are we feeling?
Good.
Okay, so you're going to hold this stretch here for 20 to 30 seconds, and then you're going to do it on the opposite side as well. Next stretch is we're going to start by bringing knee up towards hip, and then we're going to kind of come just directly above the hip and then go straight lateral with this knee. Again, I'm going to reach over and pin the opposite hip down. How are we doing there?
Great.
Okay, so really we're going to hold these stretches again for 20 to 30 seconds, and you're going to perform on the opposite side as well.